It started with a harmless mistake, just one new vitamin added to her morning routine. No big deal, she thought. But within hours, her hands were trembling, her heart raced unpredictably, and her speech slurred like she'd aged 10 years overnight. Her family thought she was having a stroke. The ambulance came. Panic set in. But the real cause wasn't a medical emergency. It was a single capsule, swallowed without warning. What they discovered later would leave everyone stunned and deeply cautious. Vitamins may seem harmless, but the wrong type or dose, especially for seniors, can trigger serious reactions, warns Dr. Grace Mitchell, a specialist in geriatric medicine. What's safe for one person can be dangerous for another, particularly when combined with medications or chronic conditions. This story reveals how a single vitamin, taken with good intentions, led to a frightening medical crisis. The woman in question had no history of heart problems or neurological disorders, yet within hours of taking a new supplement, her body began to shut down in ways her family never expected. Behind this event lies a deeper issue. Many seniors take vitamins without checking labels, interactions, or recommended dosages. What they believe is just a supplement can act like a drug inside a more vulnerable system. This article uncovers what went wrong, how it could have been prevented, and what every family should know before adding a new vitamin to their routine. Linda Reynolds had always prided herself on being proactive with her health. At 68, she managed her own medications, followed a light exercise plan, and started each morning with a glass of water and a row of carefully organized supplements: vitamin D, calcium, fish oil, and a daily multivitamin. It was a ritual, almost comforting. So when her daughter-in-law mentioned that vitamin B complex could boost energy and mental clarity, Linda didn't hesitate. "It's natural," the younger woman said. "It really helped my focus." With no known allergies and no concerns from her doctor at her last checkup, Linda added the new capsule to her pill organizer the next morning. It didn't seem like a big change. But something was different almost immediately. Later that day, Linda felt jittery. Her hands trembled slightly when she poured tea. She brushed it off. Maybe she hadn't eaten enough. By the afternoon, the tremors grew stronger. Her heart pounded when she climbed the stairs. She struggled to focus while reading, her vision fluttering. By early evening, her speech began to slur. Her son thought she was having a stroke. Panic set in as Linda reached for words and found none. Her family called an ambulance. Paramedics arrived within minutes. Her vitals were erratic: elevated heart rate, low-grade fever, disorientation. At the ER, tests came back normal. No stroke, no heart attack, no infection. But something was wrong. It took a sharp-eyed nurse to ask what vitamins Linda had taken. When she listed them, including the new B-complex capsule, everything changed. The supplement contained over 500% of the recommended daily dose of vitamin B6, along with high levels of B12 and niacin. For some, especially seniors with slower metabolism or existing medications, these megadoses can trigger acute toxicity, leading to symptoms that mimic neurological disorders. It wasn't a stroke. It was a vitamin. Linda lay in the hospital bed, overwhelmed. She had done what millions of older adults do every day, tried to stay healthy. But instead of helping her, that one pill had nearly sent her down a. As Linda lay in her hospital bed, her son Mark paced anxiously just outside the curtain. He couldn't shake the image of his mother slurring her words, eyes wide with confusion. The doctors had ruled out a stroke, but no one could explain what had happened until a soft-spoken internal medicine resident asked one simple question. "Has she started taking any new supplements lately?" Mark paused. "Just a B-complex. Over the counter." Her daughter-in-law suggested it. The resident asked to see the bottle. When Mark retrieved it from Linda's purse, the doctor's brows knit together. The label proudly claimed, energy support, nervous system boost, high potency. It listed staggering doses, 600% of the daily value of B6, 2000% of B12, and a whopping 35 milligrams of niacin. Dr. Grace Mitchell, who had just begun her shift, reviewed the chart, and joined the conversation. "This isn't uncommon," she explained. "Excess B6 can cause nerve-related symptoms, tremors, confusion, even speech problems. High-dose niacin can cause flushing and rapid heartbeat. Combine that with age and existing prescriptions, and it's a perfect storm." Mark was stunned. "But it's just vitamins. From a pharmacy." Dr. Mitchell nodded sympathetically. "That's the danger. People think supplements are harmless because they're sold over the counter. But many have pharmacological effects, especially in older adults with slower metabolism or multiple medications." As they weaned Linda off the B-complex and provided supportive care, her symptoms gradually improved. By morning, the tremors had calmed, her speech returned to normal, and the light in her eyes flickered back. Relief washed over the room. But the emotional toll lingered. Mark felt guilt. So did his wife, who'd innocently recommended the supplement. Neither of them had imagined a vitamin could trigger a medical emergency. "We just wanted her to have more energy," she whispered. Linda, recovering but shaken, realized how close she had come to something irreversible. Not because of negligence, but because of good intentions paired with incomplete knowledge. And now, the family who once believed vitamins were always safe had a new mission: to understand what's truly right for her body, and never assume a label tells the full story. Linda was discharged 2 days later, but her return home didn't mean things were back to normal. She moved slower, spoke cautiously, and checked her pillbox 3 times before taking anything. The incident had shaken her confidence, not just in her body, but in her choices. For the first time, she realized how vulnerable she truly was. The physical symptoms faded first. Within a week, the tremors disappeared completely. Her appetite returned. She slept better. But the emotional aftermath lingered. Each time she passed the medicine cabinet, she paused. What else had she been taking blindly? Her son, Mark, felt it too. He printed out every label from the vitamins in her kitchen. Some of the doses shocked him. One supplement claimed immune support, but packed 300% of the daily zinc requirement. Another included herbal extracts known to interfere with blood pressure medication. "How did we not see this sooner?" he muttered. Dr. Grace Mitchell had a clear explanation during their follow-up consultation. "Most people think if something is sold at a pharmacy, it must be safe for everyone. But supplements aren't one-size-fits-all, especially for seniors. They metabolize slower, have more sensitivities, and often take other medications. What helps one person could harm another." With Dr. Mitchell's help, Linda's family developed a new system. All supplements had to be reviewed by her primary doctor or pharmacist. Labels were checked not for what they promised, but for what they contained. They switched to food-based nutrients where possible, and eliminated duplicates that were hiding across multiple products. Linda also made changes to her diet, adding leafy greens, healthy fats, and hydration to support her energy levels naturally. She no longer relied on a supplement to feel awake. Instead, she built routines around rest, nutrition, and movement. The experience didn't make her afraid, it made her aware. More than that, it brought her family closer. Conversations shifted from surface-level health talk to real, honest questions about what her body needed, and what it didn't. And for the first time in a long time, Linda felt something she hadn't expected: informed control. She wasn't just managing her health, she was leading it. 3 weeks after her hospital stay, Linda returned to her weekly book club at the community center. She walked in with a smile, holding a reusable water bottle in one hand, and noticeably, no pillbox in the other. Her friends welcomed her back with warmth, and after the usual updates on grandkids and novels, someone finally asked, "So, what really happened?" Linda hesitated for a moment. Part of her felt embarrassed. How do you tell people you ended up in the ER because of a vitamin? But then she remembered how afraid she'd been that night, how helpless her son had felt, and how close she came to losing control of her health. She took a breath. "I had a reaction to a B-complex vitamin. One capsule threw everything out of balance. I thought I was having a stroke." Gasps. Wide eyes. Silence. Then questions poured in. What brand was it? Do you think that could happen to me? I've been taking the same one for years, should I stop? Linda didn't have all the answers, but she shared what she'd learned. She explained how the supplement had megadoses far beyond what her body needed, how it interacted poorly with her medications, and how Dr. Grace Mitchell had helped her completely rethink her routine. She emphasized that the problem wasn't the vitamin itself, but the assumption that all vitamins are safe for everyone. Ask your doctor, she said firmly. Don't just trust the label. And don't take something just because it worked for someone else. Her words hit home. That day, 2 of her friends scheduled appointments to review their own supplements. Another tossed out 3 bottles when she got home after realizing she was unknowingly doubling her calcium intake. Linda wasn't trying to scare anyone. She just didn't want anyone else to go through what she had, especially when it was preventable. And in speaking up, she discovered something empowering. Her experience, though painful, had a purpose. She'd gone from confused patient to trusted voice, someone her community now turned to for clarity in a world flooded with quick fixes and misleading health advice. Her story wasn't just about a mistake. It was about transformation, starting from one capsule and growing into real, lasting awareness. Before the incident, Linda had believed wellness lived in her medicine cabinet. Neatly stacked bottles with promises like, boost energy, support brain health, and protect your heart, lined her shelves. But now, those bottles felt more like question marks than solutions. So she cleared the shelf. Not entirely, but intentionally. With the guidance of Dr. Grace Mitchell and a local dietitian, Linda started building her new routine from the inside out, beginning not with pills, but with food. Breakfast was no longer a rushed muffin and coffee. It became a slow ritual, oatmeal topped with chia seeds, berries, and a splash of almond milk. Lunches were colorful, grilled salmon with leafy greens, a slice of avocado, roasted sweet potatoes. She even tried fermented foods like kefir and sauerkraut, which she once turned her nose up at, but now embraced for the sake of gut health. She didn't eliminate supplements altogether, just narrowed them to a few essentials, all recommended based on recent blood work. No more guessing. No more taking something just because it's popular. But it wasn't only her diet that changed. Linda began walking every morning, even if just around the block. She prioritized sleep, turning off the TV earlier and swapping scrolling for reading. She practiced breathing exercises to manage the mild anxiety that lingered after her health scare. Health isn't about what you add, Dr. Mitchell had told her. It's about what you understand. And for the first time, Linda understood her body's cues. If she felt sluggish, she checked her hydration and sleep before blaming her age. If her energy dipped, she reached for water and movement, not a capsule. Friends began noticing, too. Her posture straightened. Her voice had more clarity. She laughed more, paused more, and filled rooms with calm instead of caution. This wasn't a dramatic reinvention. Linda hadn't become a wellness guru or given up modern medicine. She simply learned to lead her own health instead of chasing it. And in doing so, she discovered something better than a quick fix. She found trust in her own rhythm again. 2 months after her terrifying ER visit, Linda sat in Dr. Grace Mitchell's office once again, but this time, the air felt different. She wasn't hunched over or pale. Her hands didn't tremble. There was a quiet confidence in the way she sat, legs crossed neatly, a reusable water bottle tucked in her tote bag beside a notebook full of food logs and morning walk notes. Dr. Mitchell reviewed her latest labs, nodding with satisfaction. Vitamin D levels? Stable. No signs of B6 overload. Liver function? Clear. Blood pressure slightly improved. Resting heart rate down. Sleep quality, according to Linda's own notes, the best in years. What changed? The doctor asked, though she already suspected the answer. Linda smiled. I stopped outsourcing my health to a pill bottle. I started asking what I really need, instead of assuming what I'm missing. She spoke about her shift to whole foods, her daily walking habit, her newfound respect for hydration, and how her vitamin shelf had been trimmed down to 3 carefully chosen items, all approved by Dr. Mitchell. What impressed the doctor most wasn't the lab numbers. It was the mindset. Too often, Dr. Mitchell saw older patients overwhelmed by well-meaning advice, trending supplements, internet remedies, neighbor recommendations. Rarely did someone pause and recenter around what their own body was asking for. "You're doing something many people twice your age struggle with," she said. "You're listening to yourself." Linda nodded. "It took a health scare to get here. But I'm not afraid of my body anymore. I trust it again." Before leaving, she handed Dr. Mitchell a typed page, her updated supplement and meal list, her walking schedule, and a question: "Should I consider strength training next?" The doctor chuckled. "Let's talk about that at your next visit." As Linda walked out of the office, she didn't feel like a patient anymore. She felt like a partner in her own care, someone who had turned a moment of crisis into a turning point. And her family, once shocked and scared, now looked to her not with worry, but with admiration. She hadn't just recovered. She'd redefined what being, well, truly meant. When taken incorrectly, even common vitamins can cause serious harm, especially in older adults. Overdosing on certain nutrients like vitamin B6 or niacin can mimic stroke symptoms, trigger heart palpitations, or cause long-term nerve damage. Worse, these effects are often misdiagnosed, delaying proper care. Without awareness or medical guidance, a well-intended routine can spiral into a medical emergency. For seniors already managing multiple medications, the risks multiply. What begins as an innocent supplement can quietly compromise the body's balance, and in some cases, threaten life itself. Prevention starts with education, personalization, and asking the right questions before swallowing the next pill. Vitamins aren't harmless just because they're over the counter, says Dr. Grace Mitchell. For seniors, especially those on multiple medications, even common supplements can have powerful, and sometimes dangerous, effects. Dr. Mitchell urges older adults to treat vitamins with the same level of care as prescription drugs. That means reviewing all supplements with a healthcare provider, especially before adding new ones. Blood tests can reveal deficiencies that actually need support, and help avoid unnecessary or overlapping doses. She also advises choosing food-based supplements when possible and being wary of products labeled megadose or high potency. More isn't always better. Energy, memory, digestion, these are complex systems, she says. There's no magic pill. But when you combine targeted supplementation with real food, movement, and sleep, the body responds. Most importantly, Dr. Mitchell encourages seniors and their families to ask questions. If something feels off, speak up. Listening to your body is the most powerful medicine you have. If Linda's story made you think twice about your own supplement routine, you're not alone. Thousands of seniors unknowingly make the same mistake every day. Share this video with someone you care about. It might help prevent the next health scare. Leave a comment if you've had a similar experience, or ask a question for Dr. Grace Mitchell to answer in future videos. And don't forget to subscribe for more real-life health stories, expert advice, and senior wellness tips. Together, we're building a safer, smarter community, one story, one voice, and one decision at a time.